So in today's video, I'm going to be covering milk texturing on the M.A.D.E Mini. Now when I'm teaching baristas how to texture milk, I like to break this up into 3 steps. Setup and positioning, introducing air, and heating to temperature. So let's start off with the first step, setup and positioning. So you want to select the right size jug for the amount of milk that you want to produce. 400ml jug will be enough for 1 small cup, while a 600ml jug will be enough for 2 small cups or 1 large mug. And no matter what size jug you're selecting, you're always filling up your jug with milk to the bottom of the spout. Don't try and underfill your jug to produce less milk, because the steam pressure on the machine is just going to be too much for that smaller volume of milk, and you're going to end up with a really fluffy texture. So if you want to use less milk, then you need to use a smaller size jug. So once your milk jugs are all prepped, ready to go, you then want to purge your steam wand just to release any of that built up pressure. And you're going to position the jug with the steam wand in the spout and the jug on a slight angle. And this is going to encourage that milk to spin throughout the whole process. Now before you turn on the steam wand, the tip of the steam wand should be sitting just on the surface of the milk. Too far in and you're not going to allow any of that milk to be introduced, and you'll end up with a real flat texture. And too far above the surface and you're going to end up creating a lot of turbulence, and you'll end up with a really foamy texture. So again, you want that tip of the steam wand sitting just on the surface of the milk. So step 2, introducing air. Now if you have positioned your milk jug correctly, as soon as you turn on your steam pressure, then you should hear its sound, and that is the air being introduced into the milk. And we want this to happen before the side of the jug feels warm to touch. If you start introducing air after this point, then you're only going to be overworking the proteins, which is going to lead to a really foamy texture. Now if you turn on the steam pressure and you don't hear this noise, but you hear a high-pitched whirling noise, then most likely you have the tip of the steam wand submerged too far into the milk. So you want to just slowly lower that milk jug to the right position till you hear the right noise. And then on the other hand, if you hear a really violent bubbling noise, then most likely you have the tip of the steam wand above the surface of the milk. So you want to just slowly lift that up to the right position till you hear the right noise. So step 3, heating to temperature. So once you've introduced your air and the side of the jug feels warm to touch, you can then straighten up your jug and allow that milk to continue to spin and heat until the jug is too hot to hold. You're then going to turn off your steam pressure and purge your steam wand, and you should be sitting at that 60 to 65 degree mark, which is also known as the sweet spot. And this is the point that if we were to add our milk to a perfectly extracted espresso, it's going to be nice and balanced and it won't need any sugar. Now obviously if you like your milk a little hotter, then that's okay to do so as well. Now when texturing alternative milks, I try not to add too much air in at the start, and likewise I don't like to heat these up too hot. The protein structure of these milks is just a little different, and we can't treat them the same as full fat cow's milk. So with alternative milks, you want a little less air at the start and a little less temperature. So follow these 3 steps and you will have perfectly glossy, silky milk every time. Don't forget to check out our web store, venezianocoffee.com.au, for all of your coffee needs, and stay tuned for the next installment of our M.A.D.E at Home video series.